Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about For a Few Souls More by Wile E. Young. It's a splatter western from Death's Head Press. It is the sequel to The Magpie Coffin, and in it, Salem Covington is our main character. He has a gun. I don't think this is a spoiler, unless you haven't read anything, haven't read the Magpie Coffin, but it's early in the Magpie Coffin that you learn this. So basically, he has a gun that keeps him alive. He can't be killed by bullets. He can be killed by a knife, or a sword, or a rock, whatever, but he can't be killed by bullets, except for there is a companion gun that can kill him. But he has to basically kill 10,000, I think it's 10,000 people. He has to deliver 10,000 souls to the gun to keep from burning in hell, basically. I mean, I'm making this very simplistic. So, in this story, something from his past, actually a couple things from his past, have come back to haunt him, not in the literal sense, although a little bit-ish. Basically, somebody who feels that he has wronged them has conjured something to destroy him, destroy Salem Covington. So, yeah, I'm trying to avoid any types of spoilers and things. So Salem has to, take the fight, bring the fight to this person that's after him. There's your nutshell-ish. So for the too long didn't watch people, 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I don't remember what I gave the Magpie Coffin, probably at least 4 out of 5. And I think, let's see if I can see. I can't see well enough. I want to say the Magpie Coffin is the first book in the Splatter Western series. Not 100% sure, but I feel like it is. Anyway, not that matters. So, Wile E. Young, he's a very good writer. I've read a number of his things. I have some other things from him that I haven't read yet. But Salem Covington is an incredibly dark character. He's not a good guy. In the book, Mr. Young is filling in more of the world, more of Covington's history, his backstory, and even before he became this guy with the gun, although we've learned some of this in the previous book, before he became this guy with the gun that he's got to kill 10,000 people, he was not a good person. And you can question whether or not how much is his fault. I mean, his upbringing, he and his brother, the way they were brought up, the place they were brought up, very heavy in influence in the type of person that Salem Covington is. So it's, do you question, or, how much should we hate this guy? Should we have sympathy for this guy because of his past? But, he's an adult. He's in control. But circumstances, the world. It's a complicated character, an incredibly dark character. I don't think we should have that much sympathy for him. But anyway, that's me. So there's a cold open, as I like to call it, where we have our antagonist doing the thing that they're going to do to set everything in motion. And then we join up with Salem Covington as he's doing his thing. One of his mentors is dying, so he goes to New Orleans to visit them before they pass. And then this is sort of where things for him kick off. He meets somebody who's going to be very important to him, and then he learns about this vengeance this vendetta against him that's actively working and growing against him. And so he's going to, there's some traveling, and this is all, of course, Old Westy. Um, Traveling, meeting new people, lots of killing. It is a splatter western, so there's lots of violence, lots of gore. Not a lot of likable people. There's a few people that are, I think, good. Well, I don't know. Are there any good people? That's up to you, I think. But I mean, that's one of the things that can make for a compelling story is when you're rooting for someone who's bad, but not as bad as, again, the antagonist. The protagonist is a bad person. The antagonist is a worse person. But are they? A lot of questions. It's just a splatter western, and yet there's a lot of questions about morality and things. And look at that amazing cover by Justin Coons. Justin T. Coons. Had to double check. All the splatter westerns have amazing covers. I really, really like this one. So, yeah, it's just, it's fast paced. It's well written with very, very interesting but not likable characters. There's plenty of violence and gore and horrible things happening. This isn't for the faint of heart. Yeah, the characters are all terrible people for the most part. And I really liked it. 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know if there's going to be more. I would be happy if there were more. But if not, Wile E. Young can write whatever he wants. He's not beholden to me. But and I do have some other stuff from him to read. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a great splatter western. It's a great follow-up to the Magpie Coffin. It fills in a lot of stuff that may or may not change your opinion of Salem Covington, one way or the other. So yeah, if you're into, even if you're not into westerns, it's good horror. You can take the western setting, I suppose. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Horror, unless the only thing you read is like modern day horror, if you're willing to read gothic horror or science fiction horror, stuff that takes place in the future, why not in the Old West? I don't know. I just know people that like, I'm not going to read a western, I don't care. But it's horror first, western second, although it's maybe a 55-45 split, because they are very specifically splatter westerns, obviously. I don't know what else to say. It's a rollicking, rowdy good time. For a few souls more. Wile E. Young. Don't confuse this with the Guy Adams book, For a Few Souls More. And if it weren't for the fact that this is the follow-up to the Magpie Coffin, at the end of a video when the little boxes and stuff pop up, and there should be like a circle with my profile picture that you can click on to look at my channel and subscribe and stuff, and then there's usually a rectangle with another video that I'm recommending. And so because this is the sequel to the Magpie Coffin, that rectangle is going to be the Magpie Coffin. But if it weren't, that rectangle would have the other book I own called For a Few Souls More by Guy Adams, which is part of a fantasy horror western trilogy. I believe I've reviewed it. That's why I'm saying, if I've reviewed it, that would be in the box in the corner. But I'm trying to remember if I read those books. I think I reviewed the first one, but I might have read the second and third ones when I wasn't doing reviews, so I don't recall. But anyway, that's all neither here nor there. It's going to be the Magpie Coffin. That's it. 4 out of 5 stars. Question for this video: have you jumped into the Splatter Westerns yet? If so, what have you read? How are you enjoying them? And does the Western part put you off? If you're a horror fan, does the Western part of Splatter Western put you off? I'm just not a fan of Westerns, so I don't want to read it. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on any that you've read, the idea of it as a whole, whether it interests you or doesn't. This is a Splatter Western discussion. For me, obviously, I like them. I have all of them. I have the ones that haven't come out yet on my wish list on Amazon to remind me to pick them up when they come out. Don't read them as often as I should, and I've read a few out of order, including this one now. And they were being numbered on the sides, but and when Christopher Triana did his, like his first one was, I'm just going to say number 7. I don't know what it actually is. And then I think the sequel to it was like 7.1 or something. But now this one I don't think has a number. But most of them are numbered. But I read some of them out of order because I wanted to read those particular authors. Now I'm trying to read them in order. Not that it matters, because for the most part they're all separate. But this is technically out of order because it came out after a bunch of the other books that I haven't read yet. And for anybody who's made it this far, I can't believe I completely forgot that there are a bunch of Easter eggs for some of the other Splatter Westerns. You don't have to have read any of the other ones, except the Magpie Coffin would be good, but it makes reference to other books, and I don't know how many other, because I may have missed some for the ones that I haven't read, but I know at least 2 that have locations that are referenced, and one that essentially the entire book, one of the Splatter Westerns, takes place somewhere, and there's an entire chapter or more that takes place in that same location. Try not to spoil anything. But again, if you haven't read that book, it's not going to matter. You have everything you need right here. But it was cool to see all those different Easter eggs in this book. So even though the stories themselves don't all tie together, it is still somewhat, maybe kind of the same world. We'll see how the other books are as I read through them. Yeah, so I'm a fan. I like a well written Western. Try saying that one time fast. And of course, horror, my favorite genre. Throw things together, especially when you go balls to the wall with splatter. I'm a fan. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. Try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. And if you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. And on Blue Sky, I am @EL Smith. That's all I have for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith. And until next time, read more books.